Real talk. Vespa know what to focus on. Hey, let's get. God damn, Vespa! Damn! What's up, guys? Broken Notes here with some more Kings. And today I'm going to talk about something important, something that's necessary, and just for fun. I'm going to discuss Scarlet's second ability again, but this time I want to put it into perspective so that we can see how truly powerful her skill is. So I'm gonna compare her one-mana ability to another 6 characters that's already in the game that have at least parts of her ability. I'm talking about their mana cost, and of course when you level up, what kind of benefits you get added onto their abilities when you max it out. You know, it's level 1, 2, and 3. Of course with Scarlet, she gets a damage increase for level 1 and 2, but her level 3, she gets a what is it? Oh, she gets, I think, CC immunity. So yeah, some sort of immunity for 2 seconds once she uses her ability. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for her to actually get her party to get CC when you use her and all that blah blah blah. So let's actually get into the video and let's talk about our first hero that's on the list, and that's Gal. Alright, so we all know about one of our favorite cleansers, Gal. Yeah, he's one of our favorite cleansers. He's been there in the game for so long, for months, and he's have a huge use for his second ability, which also cleanse, just like Scarlet. But let's just talk about what Gal can actually do with his second ability. Well, let's just go over briefly because we all know what it does. Of course, you know, gain attack buff for 15 seconds to clear all negative effects. If you max it out, you get a 25% increase, and that's the one of his famous skills right there. And of course, I think it's a little bit different because I got the transcendent buff also with it. But just some other information that you might not have known is that it's a 15%. It's a 15-second cooldown, 2 mana. So compared to Scarlet, what she gets, which of course she just don't get the attack buff. That's the only thing she don't get, and also of course her ability costs 1 mana. So in my opinion, I'd say her ability is better compared to Gal's, and at least for cleansing wise, I feel like Scarlet has made Gal obsolete, at least in that aspect, for the cleansing aspect. So let's move on to one of our newer heroes, and that's Ricardo. And so now with Ricardo, let's talk about his third ability, which is Divine Judgment. It's a 23-second cooldown, and it costs 4 mana. So pretty much what he does, as you can see right there, he attacks the enemies 3 times, inflicting a 4-second stun, and the last attack is 20% wider. So like the range is wider. So each attack has a 50% chance to remove positive effects, but when you max it out, pretty much you block all damage while it's in use. So you can see, at least when you compare it to Scarlet, the issue. First, it's RNG. It's RNG and it's a directional ability, so that means it's not guaranteed. And depending on the alignment of the enemy heroes, his ability can actually miss. You know, whoever he's facing, whatever direction he's facing, he can just miss everybody. But also, it's RNG. But what's really nice is that it stuns the enemy for 4 seconds? Yeah, for 4 seconds, which is pretty rad. So with Scarlet's ability, only way for her to get in a stun is if she transcends it for 4 mana and it stuns everybody. Guaranteed. It's guaranteed. Everybody's guaranteed to get stunned for 3 seconds. So you can see there's a pretty huge disconnection, but of course, you know, it's Ricardo. Ricardo, we really love him for this ability right here, his Divine Protection. That's what we really love him for. Yeah, his Divine Protection. It was really useful. And what is it? BD, like Black Dragon and Fire Dragon. It is really useful for raid against those magical team comps. So you can see how that's sort of the disconnection. Hers 1 mana versus Ricardo's 4 mana, and for Ricardo's, his is not guaranteed. It's directional. Also, it's RNG to remove the debuffs. Okay, so now let's move on to Refi. Alright, so we got Refi right here, one of the underused healers in the game. Refi, he's sort of a meme when it comes to healers, but hey, look, at least, okay, at least he's mad cute. Okay, so let's talk about Refi's 1 mana ability, Salvation, a 12-second cooldown. So what it does, it removes debuffs from all enemies from all allies, and increase magic defense for 20 seconds. So the level 2 magic damage growth by 50%, level 3 250 debuff resistance for 25 seconds. So this ability right here, it's 1 mana, but you know, you can see the issue where, okay, so I say this skill is more defensive for like if you use it in BD, since it remove all debuffs, so it can remove that lightning bolt stun or just the debuff and BD raid. But you can see the issue is that there's just, well, in my opinion actually, because it does offer a magic defense magic defense buff for 20 seconds, which I have to say, this is probably one of the few abilities that's at least for BD. It offers, well, I was gonna say a close second to Scarlet, but what am I talking about? Because her skill, it removes everything, all debuffs, all buffs, and also when you max it out, you're immune to CC. So you know how like when the lightning be trolling, like you just remove the CC from the lightning, from the previous lightning stun, and it comes down again and all that good stuff. So you'll be immune to that. But of course you lose out on the magic defense that Refi provides. But who uses Refi in BD? Who uses Refi? You'll use Lias if anything. Nobody uses Refi. Refi, he just chilling, just swinging his lantern, shooting these little flaming souls or something. He's just doing that in the corner by himself. But yeah, we have Lias. We don't need Refi, but Refi just chilling at the moment. But we got Lias. So let's move on to Annette. Okay guys, so let's talk about Annette right now. Now I think actually, in my opinion, I think Annette is the closest one that gives a lot of benefits like Scarlet, but of course she have to be overcharged in order to get the maximum benefits from her ability. So let's talk about Annette right now. So she has a 2 mana ability called Emergency Treatment, but of course for the full benefit, she has to be overcharged. But let's talk about it. So what it does, it cleanses cleanses negative effects and heals party for 10 seconds. Increase debuff resistance by 250. While overcharged, increase party crit by 250 and immune to status effects. Level 2, increase recovery by 50%, and level 3, upon use, overcharge gain is increased by 300%. So she's overcharged right now. So this is the ability right now. So now she get a crit buff. So she should critting more often. You see all those crits she's doing. Like every like attack sequence she's critting, which is pretty nice. But of course, you have to get all of those benefits. If you're only way for you to get all those benefits is when you're overcharged. So technically, I'd say Annette's ability, her ability is not even worth 2 mana. That's when she's overcharged. Cause she got a lot of benefits. And I don't know if I mentioned it's on the 17-second cooldown. Or memory's like hot garbage. But yeah, Annette, she's really good. Nobody really used her that much either. But definitely, I guess she could fit well inside BD. But of course, we do have, you know, usually you see Lias, and she's like a sub DPS healer. But I'll just say, with the 6 characters that I'm comparing Scarlet to, I would say Annette is probably the close second to having a really beefed out single ability like Scarlet. I mean, that's a lot of benefits, but of course she has to be overcharged. So I think she needs to get like 100 procs before she can actually get the full benefit of her second ability. And also it's 2 mana, but hey, my Scarlet is 1 mana with all those benefits. Alright, well, let's talk about Tanya. She have an ability also that's kind of similar to Scarlet's. Alright, so we got a girl, Tanya, right here. Shout out to the people that remember when Tanya was meta. Shout out to them. Hey, whoever remember that. Hey, those were the days. Actually, no, the days is when Pavel was meta. But hey, I digress. Let's talk about Tanya. It's her 3rd ability, Whisper of Death. It's on 3 mana, and it's on a 25-second cooldown. So pretty much what it does, do something brief about it. It attacks 6 random enemies, and on the final attack, for bonus physical damage. If stealth, it dispels all enemy buffs. If not, gain stealth for 10 seconds. So level 2, damage increased by 15%, and a level 3, crit chance increased by 250%. So you can see it costs more, and also it's RNG. The ability is RNG, so you might not even hit the target you want to hit. Like for example, it's possible to hit the tank 6 times, which will be really unlikely, but it can happen. Since you have like, what, a 25% chance to hit the target that you really want to hit, maybe a 50% chance to actually hit the target that you really want to hit, and dealing with math probability, it is possible that you can just hit the tank 6 times and you'll be like, oh, alright. Also, it's 3 mana, and she's a DPS. She's a DPS. So it's a little different to compare Scarlet to Tanya, but they definitely have a similar ability. But also, you can see there's a catch with Tanya's ability. She needs to be stealth. But also, the other benefit with Tanya's ability is that it is used to one-shot. Scarlet, at least with her ability, she can't like one-shot the enemy. She can't do that. But Tanya, she can. So it probably makes sense why it costs a little bit more, but still, yeah, okay, it makes sense why it's a little bit more, especially since Scarlet, hers is more defensive, but Tanya's is more offensive, and it can kill everybody pretty much, especially in PvP. Shout out to people that remember when you get one shot. If your team, if you didn't kill her first, or if your team is just bare bones with no buffs or nothing like that, that can help them against that ability. But we can see the difference. She's more DPS. It makes sense. It's more expensive. It makes a lot of sense. But I'm just comparing, you know, all the heroes that's similar to that ability. But of course, you know, she needs to be stealth to get that full benefit. And hey, Tanya. Finally, let's move on and talk about Visca. Okay, so lastly, we're gonna talk about Visca. So she has a 2-mana ability that's on a 10-second cooldown. It's I'll slice you up. So she'll move behind the target enemy, dispel positive effects, and inflict knockdown. If holding 3 souls, reduce enemy magic defense by 30%. The level 2, the damage increased by 15%. The level 3, enemies receive 25% more magic damage. Alright, so at least compared to Scarlet, we can see the problem is. The problem is that she's going to target the hero that's in front of her. So the first hero she's going to attack is the tank when she does this ability.
I'll slice you to bits.
Yeah. She's going to attack the front line first, which is the tank, which is going to do nothing. But again, Scarlet, she's guaranteed to hit everybody. Hers is single target. Hers is 2 mana, more expensive. You know? And and it does apply knockdown, but it's gonna knock down the tank. The tank's gonna be on the floor like, I can't get up, and it's gonna be on the floor like that. But the people you really wanna kill is the DPS. So obviously, I'm not saying that she's useless, but like compared to Scarlet, it's pretty garbage compared to Scarlet. And also, you can decrease the magic defense on the tank. Woohoo! Yay! Woo! Yeah! Yeah. So we can see, at least compared to the 6 heroes that I use towards Scarlet, we can see how there's a pretty huge disconnection on balancing and benefits. We can see that Scarlet have insane benefits with her 1 mana ability. 1 mana. Let that sink in. 1 mana ability. Overall, out of all the people I compared, Tanya is the least relevant compared to it, especially since her attack will actually one-hit everybody when she gets a 3 mana, and if she's stealth, she can one-shot everybody pretty much. But overall, Scarlet, she's overly stacked. And just to recap, the close second I can say overly stacked like her is Annette, but hers is 2 mana and she needs to be overcharged. But yeah, right there is the 6 characters I chose to compare to Scarlet, just for fun, just to get a perspective on how powerful her second ability is. Well guys, hope you have a great day, great night. I'll have some more King's Raid content in the future. Also, follow my Twitter. I'm definitely getting more in the groove. I'm trying to become more consistent with the video content creator, blah blah blah. I'm gonna be more consistent, guys. Alright, see you later.